Today on Locked On Red Wings, we are going to break down the 6-3 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are hosts Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. Scotty also hosts over at Locked On Tigers. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. We are free and available on all platforms. Scotty, you finally got me. You boomed me. Absolutely annihilated me on Twitter last night during the Red Wings game. We talked about it the other night. Your penchant for your mom jokes, and you absolutely destroyed me.
That gif is one of my... Every time I look at it, it kills me, man. It's just such a great, stupid gif.
I got a notification saying you replied to me, or Locked On Red Wings replied to me. And I go, what did Scotty have to say? I'm like fully expecting it to be snarky. And I look at the gif, I go, this mother. He was waiting in the wings. He's been waiting for so long.
Bro, you made the mistake of asking a who question.
I did.
And, on a platform that I would see it on. That's kind of on you, honestly.
It was great. No, it was really funny. You're a funny person, Scotty, even though it makes me sad. It comes at my
sad that I'm funny.
It comes at my expense. I'm getting bullied. I
Sometimes.
get it enough in my real life from my roommates. Nah, I love my roommates. So the Detroit Red Wings beat the Philadelphia Flyers 6-3, completing the season sweep of the Flyers. And in each case, I think they pretty much dominated the performances. Now, the Philadelphia Flyers in this one had the edge in shot attempts and shots on net, shots that got through. But the Corsi in this game was the Red Wings all along. The Philadelphia Flyers got a little bit back in the third period, but when it comes to shot attempts that went through, the Red Wings were dominating that game. And, I mean, it showed up on the score sheet. They scored 6 goals in this one. Granted, 2 of them were empty net, but Nedeljkovic continues to... I don't want to say bounce back, Scotty, because bounce back would indicate at this point that he is still rough. And he's not rough anymore. And this is the third game in a row where he's been good again. And this was probably his... this is just another great example of how he has re-cemented himself as this is Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic is back on the horse. It's no longer, well, is it going to last? Or, what's the real Ned? Ned has proven now at this point, after another 30-save performance tonight on 33 shot attempts from the Philadelphia Flyers, that this is the real Nedeljkovic.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's back. And I think that this is now what was the expectation at the beginning of the year is now the expectation again. And I think everybody kind of just expects, all right, Ned is Ned again. Had a little bit of a rough stretch in the middle of the season. And that's not to say that, he's going to keep everybody 3 or less the rest of the year. I don't think anybody expects that either. But at the end of the day, the defense in front of him is still really, really rough. But he has seemed to have found a way to kind of, I don't know, dig deep. kind of overcome it a little bit at least. So, I completely agree, though. I think that this is now just, especially if it keeps lasting through the rest of the season, which we have no reason to believe it won't, that Ned is just back to how he was, and then that is actually who Ned is.
Well, and that ability to overcome it, like you said, is kind of needs to be mentioned. It cannot go unspoken how important that is, especially with goaltenders, where in goal and as a goalie, self-confidence is a huge thing. You get down on yourself, the whole team can kind of crumble because you are the last defense. He had a stretch of bad games there, as well did Thomas Greiss, and he was able to get back and now have 3 straight solid performances, against the Vancouver Canucks, who are a young, great team, a young, really good team. Seattle Kraken, who have been struggling a little bit this year. And yeah, admittedly, the Flyers aren't that good, but that's 3 straight performances where he's been very good, 2 of which he faced 40-plus shots in. So to see that and be able to rebound, and this is your first game, this is your first season as a starting goaltender, first full season rather, as a starting goaltender. So he's playing more games than he did last season as a rookie. The workload's increased. And like you said, to your credit, he's playing behind a worse defense as well. And so the ability to take that, get into a slump, and then rebound out of that and have great, and have, get back on the horse and have great performances, I mean, just speaks to his mental maturity as well. And, my faith, I'll admit it, my faith was a little bit shaken during that rough stretch. I was like, I don't know which is the real Nedeljkovic. Maybe I even said it, and I'll own up to it. I said, maybe this is why Carolina traded him. Maybe they saw something that we didn't. But I'm glad to have been wrong, because this 3-game stretch, he's proven like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I love to see that.
Yeah, and I'm personally just really excited to, get me to next season when we maybe have an off season to put a better defense in front of him, man. I'm really excited about we see how good his performances are now with the defense he has in front of him right? Like, I get really, really pumped up thinking about how good he could be with a halfway decent defense in front of him.
And you look at the goals he did let in tonight's game against the Flyers. Only one of them was really, I don't even want to say like, oh, he should have made that save. He let in 2 mid-danger shots against as goals, and one of it was like, okay, he might have been able to make that save, maybe not. But 2 of them were complete defensive breakdowns. One was right after Red Wings scored to go up 2-0. They turn the puck over the defensive zone and allow a 3-0 on Nedeljkovic. Nothing he can do on that. Another one was a pass through the defense, behind the defense for a breakaway. Again, nothing you can do about that. When you're all alone with the player, like at that point, if the goalie makes the save, he gets all the credit. But if it goes past him, like, well, where was the defense? Like, you can't have a 3-0 in your goalie starting from inside your own defensive zone. That play started in your own defensive zone. You gave up a 3-0. How does that happen?
It was really impressively bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a great turnover.
So that's why, even though, I mean, again, it was a over 900 save percentage, which is usually like my baseline for whether or not it was a good performance. Of course, variables take place in how well the defense plays in front of him. But like, he let in 3 goals, but 2 of them, there's nothing he could do on. If he would have made those saves, all credit to him. But just, continuing to build on these great performances he's had and really getting back up there. His save percentage continues to climb back up after briefly dipping down below that 900 mark. But yeah, he made 6 of 7 saves from high danger slot areas, and the one high danger shot he faced was at 3-0. So he was really good in this game.
Ned and Kosa to the moon.
Ned and Kosa to the moon. When it comes to the defense in this game, because that's probably the biggest detriment this team had in this game. It's going to be the biggest detriment they've had all season.
Yeah, shocker, right?
Yeah, shocker. It wasn't the best defensive performance from any of these players. But there was one player, of course, who stood out and has always stood out all season long, and that's Moritz Seider, continuing to be an absolute bully of the Philadelphia Flyers. What is this man on that when he plays the Flyers, he's a tank?
It was crazy. The reverse hits are crazy, man. Like, the Moritz Seider reverse checks they're they're nuts, man. The one he had against last night that might be the most,
it was aggressive
one of the year, and he's had some bangers, man. And that one might take the cake. I mean, that was aggressive. And
I'm trying to remember who it was on, and for the life of me right now, I can't. And
either.
that's on me. What was that?
I can't either.
Yeah. But it was along the boards there, and the guy came, and I don't even think he was expecting to get reverse hit. Like, he wasn't even prepared for it at all.
No, they never are, but they always do. I don't know why people don't learn.
And then there was a play in the defensive zone as well, where a Philadelphia Flyer came up to it and actually took the puck off of Seider. Seider immediately just took his arm, pushed him, knocked him to the ground, and took the puck back. Like, how is a 20-year-old rookie this strong? I mean, like,
nice little stiff arm.
we talk about it, And, we joke about it, but God almighty, the dude's the Calder favorite. Like, it's not even the favorite. Like, it's basically just give him the trophy already. I don't
Yeah,
care.
if at this point, not only would it be atrocious if he didn't win it. I mean, we're getting to a point where it would be egregious if he didn't win it unanimously.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, I don't care what a 26-year-old Michael Bunting is doing between a forward
We do
line
not
of
care.
Matthews and Marner. He can rack up as many points as he wants. That's not going to be nearly as impressive as what Moritz Seider is single-handedly doing on the Red Wings defense on a team like this.
Yeah, we do not care.
Do not care. Seider is far and away the favorite, and he should absolutely be. He should just, like you said, unanimous at this point. Today's episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and can count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm-fresh produces that arrive within a week, so you get convenience without skimping on quality. Skip the trip to the grocery store. Customize your favorite dishes with the HelloFresh Hello Custom offerings by swapping out one protein or side for another, upgrading for a more luxe experience, or even adding a protein or to a veggie meal. That means more choices, more variety, and more meals truly tailored to you. Scotty, we talked about this last night when we first noticed that, HelloFresh is back again. We, at my place with my two roommates, we actually got HelloFresh through Locked On when I was just the producer because we used the code. And we, being three men who live in an apartment together, we didn't cook. And we were like, we need to stop buying food so much. And we're like, we need to try this HelloFresh thing. And I got it 100%, Scotty. Loved every moment of it. Every chicken dish, every burger dish. And like some of them are like out of the ordinary. Like it's not just you're like, oh, here's a burger with fries. It's going to make you make these meals that aren't hard to make, but are delicious and maybe out of the realm of something you would think to make on your own. I mean, I didn't like asparagus before HelloFresh. And then they had the way they make you cook the asparagus in the oven. I was like, damn, this is really good. Like every single meal was good. It was definitely worth what we were paying for it. And it sends fresh ingredients to your doorstep. And what else dude. Also, there's something I still make to this day that HelloFresh did. Like, it won't even be part of I won't make the whole meal, but I'll be like, I just want to make the potatoes. Yukon Gold potatoes, drizzled in oil, covered in seasoning, put in the oven. Swear to God, man, the easiest thing to make, but probably my favorite thing that HelloFresh gave me in my life. Woke me up to the Yukon Gold potato. I'm not even joking.
Opened his third eye.
Oh, it opened my third eye. The Yukon Gold potato baked in the oven was amazing. Go to HelloFresh.com/lockdown16 and use code lockdown16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. All right, Scotty. Segment 2, Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are recapping the 6-3 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers, completing the season sweep. Let's talk a little bit about individual moments in this game and the fact that Joe Veleno had a pretty goal at the beginning of the game. What a way to start that game. First of all, when was the last time the Red Wings scored first in the game? It feels like it's been, I guess technically they scored first against Seattle and Vancouver. But
when was the last time, man?
When was the last time they scored first? I guess the better question is, when was the last time they scored that quickly in a game?
I think the best question is, when was the last time they scored first and held on to it? I think is probably the best way to work that.
1-0 victory.
Yeah, true. Well,
it doesn't feel like it's been that recently. With the way they haven't dominated, I guess dominate's not the right word. I don't know. It's just a vibe they're giving off. Great analysis.
The vibes
Brian.
are just off with them, man.
It is great analysis, Brian. This is why you host. Awesome. Anyway, the Joe Veleno goal. Back to that.
Nasty.
Getting off of vibes, talking about real things that happened.
Hey, nasty.
It was nasty. It was a nice pass too. That
Also, like that's obviously a great play and showed a lot of patience, and it was an absolute beauty. The whole game, man, he was cutting through. He was stick lifting and deacon and stuff. Like Joe Veleno looked pretty damn good tonight.
he has been looking a lot better, a lot recently. I mean, we've talked about it. We mentioned it a couple times, but ever since the All-Star break, and actually a few games before that, like his confidence has seemingly rose, and I think I do think that time spent in Grand Rapids has really done a lot wonders on his confidence. And that game, he played a game or two on the second line, and he didn't necessarily look out of place. I don't know if he necessarily looked ready for the second line long term, but it looks like someplace he could be in the future. And I'm loving that because I mean, when Joe Veleno got drafted, what is it, 30th overall by the Red Wings that year, and people talked about how he dropped in the draft, like. I think he can be a really good asset, and he plays a pretty solid defensive game for a guy who's touted to be at the time of the draft at least a goal scorer. So I'm looking forward to it. If this is what Joe Veleno is, I'm looking forward to it because he's got the skill. It's just about gaining the confidence, and his confidence is rising.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he even take away the goal, man. There was 2, 3, 4 times in this game where I out loud said like, "Who the hell is is this guy?" Like like he just looked different, man. He really does. If it is a confidence thing, he's got a lot of it right now, and it's awesome to watch and awesome to see.
Yeah, and like despite there's a lot of players in this game that had a positive impact via hockey stat cards and natural stat trick because the Red Wings, dominated the quality scoring, quality shot attempts in this game and quality scoring chances in this game while getting outshot by about 5 shots. And so Joe Veleno is another one of those guys that had a positive impact. He was around just above middle hockey stat card wise on his impact in this game, but he was 100% a positive impact. He had a positive offensive impact, obviously, a positive individual impact. Obviously, he scored. That's a great individual impact. Defensively, also positive impact. I mean, that's been Joe Veleno so far. Ever since the All-Star break, for even throughout the bad games, a lot of times he was at least partially providing a positive impact, if not 100%. In this game alone, let me organize this by expected goals for percentage. He was 6th on the team. He had an expected goals for percentage of 71.10 and a relative of 10. So on the ice, he was 10% addition to the team. And again, one game, so small sample size. Whenever I reference these one game possession metrics, you got to remember it's literally one game.
One game and he scored a goal in it. Yeah,
yeah, and that'll fluctuate it, but it just backs up and supports what you were seeing with the eye. Is Joe Veleno's been a lot better recently, and for a rookie, you love to see that.
yeah, big time, and especially with the trade deadline now being behind us and trading Vlad and stuff. I think Veleno might be putting a lot more opportunities to showcase that kind of stuff and showcase some goal scoring abilities and get some more meaningful minutes in there. And I'm really, really excited, honestly, to see how he takes advantage of those in the last third of the season here.
Man, I wanted to use that as a way to segue into Jakub Vrana. Be like, who else I'm really excited for? But looking at the time, got to talk to you guys today about BuiltBar.com. Where am I going today? Guys, you got to try their puffs. If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy. They're marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar. They're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors. Yummy, cinnamony churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. So good. These are going to be your new favorite. All Built bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yeah, guys, 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They are better. A typical candy bar is anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. Go to Built.com and scroll down their macros chart. You'll be blown away. High protein, low cal, high fiber, low carb. Most protein bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. At Built Bar, they are all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know, but they just manage to pull it off every single time. Go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Now we'll talk about Jakub Vrana.
You killed that, man.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, Jakub Vrana scored 2 goals in this game, and I think Nolan honestly put it aptly on Twitter. He's like, I don't think I've seen Jakub Vrana score a normal goal. Like, all of his goals are always like either really, really cool or really, really wonky. But man, does he score? He scores a lot.
That his second one was just being unreal. I mean, that like the setup for the second one, Larkin going left, skating around, going left, then quickly turning around, just firing it right to Vrana right there, and one-timer beauty, man. I mean, that was just both of those dudes being uber talented is all that was.
Yeah, I mean, now he's got 5 goals in 7 games. Notably, wow. Notably does not have an assist yet this season. But I mean, the guy's a goal scoring machine, and
Is he really not?
he doesn't have a single assist this season.
Goodness gracious.
Well, he scores 2 goals. He scores 3 goals in 2 games. They put him down on the third line. Doesn't get a single point until tonight, where he gets 2 goals playing top 6 minutes. Like, I think the solution here for Jakub Vrana is pretty simple. I mean, you traded the reason he wanted to get out of Washington in the first place is because he was getting bottom 6 minutes when he's more talented than that. And then you're going to put him on the bottom 6 on the Red Wings and put Filip Zadina on the first line. And the whole Filip Zadina thing, I'm not going to go down, but Jakub Vrana is more deserving of top 6 minutes right now than Filip Zadina because Jakub Vrana scores. He's got just as many, if not more, goals than Filip Zadina already, and he's played 7 games?
Yeah, no, I mean, just
put him on the top 6.
Right. Yeah.
Look what he does.
It doesn't seem like rocket science. But it just makes it just makes sense, man. It's not hard.
It's not. I mean, just the impact he has on this game alone. He was had the third best impact on this game. Just barely negative defensively, according to Hockey Stat Cards, but he was a 1.33 offensive positive impact and a 1.66 individual. Now, that's obviously because of the 2 goals. That's going to have a huge individual impact. But holy mackerel, was he an amazing asset for the Red Wings on the ice because of those 2 goals, putting himself in a position to succeed. But on that second goal, I do want to give a shout out to Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin, of course, had himself a really nice game as well. I believe he had 2 assists in this one as well. That assist he had on Vrana's second goal, he slowed down. They broke into the zone, and he just slowed down, and the entire play basically skated by him. No one touched Larkin, and he just stick handled to the left. So basically faded to the left and then fired a pass to the right. It was very deceptive in the way that he was going left and then made a pass back across the slot to the right. Jakub Vrana one-timer, just boom. Beauty.
One time for the one time, baby. No, it was beautiful. And I believe that was also Larkin's 350th career point.
I think you're right. I believe you tweeted about that.
The cool hell of a mini milestone to get that one on. That was an unreal pass, unreal play all around.
Well, and he also said, he had the pass on the Lucas Raymond one-time goal.
Yes.
And
how about Raymond just sitting down and sliding across the ice like this? That's adorable.
These kids have so much fun. We were talking about it yesterday with the Mojo show, but they clearly are just loving the game of hockey right now, and I love that.
He literally was sitting. He was just sitting down like he was sitting in a chair. He was just sliding around. He was like this.
And that was his 20th goal of the season. And just, this is one of those games
More
where you're like,
goals
that's
than
right.
He has years lived on this planet. More goals this season.
That is a depressing thought for people like me who are, getting up there in age. But really exciting for the Red Wings. And what?
I mean, sorry.
Sorry you're old, Brian.
It's a cool stat. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, it was just 20 goals out of a rookie. And then you have a guy like Seider on the back end who on defense is just a physical monster, but also really good at the sport. it's one of those games that reminds you, like, oh yeah, the light is at the end of the tunnel. We went through a really rough stretch there, where it was bad, but and again, the Flyers are a down and out opponent right now. But games like this are like, oh yeah, there are positives still here right now. Positives more to come. Very happy, very happy.
Good teams beat bad teams, man. And like I know that
Yeah.
sounds like super,
Like
Captain Obvious, but it's mediocre teams don't always beat bad teams. Good teams will have tight battles with other good teams and beat teams they are better than night in and night out. And so that's something you got to get used to, and a step in the development is just when a team is clearly worse than you, going in and taking care of business and getting out of there.
well, and also like let's not even look big picture. Let's look little picture. Let's look at just this tonight in a vacuum. Let's enjoy it. The Red Wings over. They're not going to be a playoff team. We already know that. This year, from here on out, the rest of the year is about what draft pick you can get and looking ahead to the next draft and seeing who's available. They got a win last night, and it was a good win. They dominated most of the play. Let's enjoy that. Oscar Sundqvist, first game as a Red Wing, got a goal and an assist, both on empty netters. But hey, good for him.
Hey, what a fourth line. We got
Yeah.
some big boys down there at the fourth line now, man.
Oh God, that we talked about that a little bit yesterday. The depth, the team got a lot deeper with that Nick Leddy trade. It might not have gotten better skill wise a whole lot, but it got a hell of a lot deeper. Those players who are playing at the bottom of the lineup, because depth is important. You didn't get any like top end talent back in that Nick Leddy trade, but you got good depth players, and I'm
fourth
really
line
excited.
is going out there with bad intentions. Let me tell you, it's not just the Giovanni Smith show anymore. We brought in another dog, so that fourth line is going to have some fun.
You know what I admittedly don't know is his size. Oscar Sundqvist,
Big.
he's big. Oh yeah, he's 6'3". Yeah, he's
For
a
a
big
center.
boy. So the back end is a large group of people now.
Yes, a lot of big boys that aren't afraid to go fast into the boards and also aren't afraid to drop gloves.
Stevie loves big people. That is abundantly clear. He
Yeah.
loves tall people. Jack Waldman played pretty good too. He was overall a positive impact on the ice. Not like a huge and like very incremental.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey stat card rise. Expected goals for percentage in this game, 51. So he didn't like wow me by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean he did exactly what I was hoping him for. I was hoping he'd shore up the team defensively, and he helped with that tonight. I felt.
Yeah, no, I agree. Not a liability out there, not a huge plus, and honestly, that's kind of refreshing given what we've had to deal with this season.
Really,
So,
all I'm hoping for.
right,
That's all I'm asking.
Totally fine with that.
The last thing is didn't even get to put the shot chart up today, so I'm gonna do that right now at the end of the episode
do it.
because it's interesting.
We like a good shot.
It's not
chart.
horrible. Is this at 5-on-5? This is at 5-on-5. And so you can see here the Red Wings have a slight edge, I would say, on
not
quality
bad.
scoring chances, which supports the theory, or not the theory, but what we saw all game is that they kind of dominated despite having less shots. They have a lot. Their heat is a lot more central over the opposing goalie.
Yeah,
The Flyers had some good shots from the slot area. I wouldn't say from like the high danger area. There was only, I think, 7 high danger shots against all game against Nedeljkovic at all strengths. This being just 5-on-5, the shot chart we're looking at. But I mean, it was pretty tight. It was pretty close.
Yeah, I mean that dark circle that we've become so accustomed to right on top of the net is not there, and that alone is
It's a little circle.
somewhat of a victory. It's a lot lighter and then a lot smaller size wise as well. So not the not the greatest defensive performance of all time, but we've certainly seen quite a lot worse this year. So
Yeah.
we'll take it.
The defense wasn't like stellar tonight. Obviously, they had the 2 major breakdowns that led to 2 goals, but outside of those 2 major breakdowns, they weren't the worst we've seen them. They weren't. Let me rephrase. They weren't consistently bad tonight.
Sure, fair enough.
They were.
Fair way to
They had
put it.
a couple short bursts of really bad, but they weren't consistently bad. But I mean, again, let's just enjoy the win. It was a good win. Finish the season sweep. If the Red Wings could play the Buffalo Sabres and the Philadelphia Flyers every single game, they'd be a Stanley Cup contender.
Look at that.
Look at that. Well, crazy how that works.
Crazy.
Any final thoughts, man?
We ball, baby. Good win. Good win. Went in and beat a team you were supposed to beat. Good win.
My final thought is, Giovanni Smith, I love you, and I love that you're willing to.
Man, we don't need to talk about
No,
it.
I don't even care if he didn't necessarily win those fights. I love that he's willing to do it. Like, that's just it's a big mentality thing. I think he's not afraid to go in there and lose.
The first one I think was soft. I think the dude just bull rushed him, and he didn't even get a chance to get his glove off.
It wasn't even a fight. It basically tackled him.
The second one,
that was better.
He had that was a legit fight, and he just got bested. He slipped a little bit on the way down. I don't think it was like a direct hit that caused him to fall, but he the second one, I will give the second one a fair win on the other side. With the first
hard
one,
fought loss.
Dude just got bull rushed, and he literally didn't even get his glove off before he had already gotten taken down to the ground. Like, just lame.
You don't need to win every single fight. You go out there, but just the thought that he's willing to do it is what is so important.
Yeah,
and the fact that
absolutely.
he does win some.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're going out there and trying to fight every single night, and you're getting your butt kicked. I mean, then you're no better than me.
Well, you're the enforcer.
Okay. Well, that does. Thank you, Scotty. I love you for pumping me out, buddy. Thanks for making Locked On Red Wings your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Hosts Steel Rodent and Flip Livingstone help you become the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Scotty and I will be back with you guys tomorrow as we preview the next game. Same time, same place. It's your team every day.
Every day.